All right, Lions-Bears this weekend. We do got to take a look at it. I saw Dan Campbell was gaslighting Justin Fields, just gassing him up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about the Bears, all the talking points that coaches do. I get it. I understand it. And sure, spread 7.5. It kind of pinballs back and forth between 7.5 and 8. It was 8 yesterday. It's 7.5 today when you got your selection in. It was 7.5.
Thank you.
It pinballs back and forth. And look, I don't need them to be works of art, especially when you have 3 games in 11 days. The art form goes out the window. The win in L.A. was the work of art. Survive and advance, DMAC. I am back on that. Much like the Raiders game, I don't care how it happens, just that it happens. I don't have a lot of detailed X's and O's for you. The Lions are the better football team. The Lions have everything on the line. This is a game the Lions have to win, period, end of story.
My question is, what's number one when you're sitting here right now getting ready to break down how this game should go or whatever? What's your number one either concern or focus? For me, it's one thing. What does Aaron Glenn do? Obviously coming off of a game that his defense got exposed a bit later in the game, but did enough to win, right? And also in the same thing, we haven't seen him game plan to contain a mobile quarterback. That's the number one thing. We did a great job the other night, especially you mentioned it all through the week, about eliminating the run game for the Chargers, which actually helped you at the end of the game because of the possession battle. So are you able to do that against Justin Fields? Remember what he did last time in your building? Remember?
He shook loose a little bit, yeah.
Shook loose for 600 yards in the first half? Set a record? So, so that's number one. Now, I have confidence, right? I have confidence because Aaron Glenn's shown that he's bounced back. We got a lot of tape. Justin Fields, he will be healthy. Right, as healthy as he's been, but he will be a little rusty as far as game. This is where the building comes into play, but the number one focal point is let me see what Aaron Glenn does, and does it look like we have a plan to contain Justin Fields? Justin Fields beats us with his arm. We got a lot of other things to worry about. But Aaron Glenn's my number one focal point.
No, and no doubt. And when you start breaking down the numbers of what the Bears do, their passing game is a little more effective than probably we give them credit for, because I always go by the number, like yards per pass attempt. And they're pretty much equal on offense to what they allow on defense. It's just that they don't throw the ball as much.
Right.
They run the ball a lot more, obviously. Now, they can get some things done in the rushing game. They're averaging over 4.5 yards per attempt. Very stingy rush defense, as we've kind of come to know with Chicago. For as much maligned as their defense is, because, Spenny, what do we always talk about with them? They pumped all this cheddar into the defense. They went and made your guy that you wanted unobtainable to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
In Trayman Edmonds. And,
Montez Sweat a big deal.
Yeah. So, they were out there
and here's
flushing
the thing,
money.
too. Can I just caveat off of that? Isn't this one of those games for David Montgomery against his old team?
Yes.
Right? Like, there's that something, too. So I want that juice. There's a little, underlying something going on. But he's got to be happy that he's healthy to go against that. He knows what he's up against, right? He ran against it. They know what they're up against. So yeah. I like that matchup. I like the juice. There's something in, as a professional, right? When you play on another team and you go to another team and you play your other team, there's called the blackboard, right? And I don't know if they do in football or whatever, but if I play, so say, for example, I'm in Calgary. I went to Calgary and we played Detroit. I'd throw 500 on the board for the game winner for the team party or whatever like this. Guys that played around would have money on the board either for the game winner or whatever else.
Non-physical bounties.
Non-physical bounties, right? Yeah. Where it means a little something like that. So there's extra juice, and that goes along too with culture. Because if I'm Amon-Ra St. Brown or Sam Laporta or Jared Goff especially, because he's got a finger on the pulse of this team as the leader, that's, hey, let's do this for DeMont coming back, against these guys. There is the juice there too. So I like that. Everybody gives it a little bit extra focus. You, on the other hand, nailed it, though, Neil. 3 games, 11 days. Just give me the results.
Survive.
Just give me the results. I don't care. It doesn't have to be pretty because good teams don't win pretty.
Yeah, but
What's Kansas City doing right now?
It's too hard. Like this league is too hard.
So just get the W's and then go back to work and know that you're going to work on and clean up the messes that you've made.
Yeah, like this isn't college, man. You don't control the schedule. You don't have like a conference with a bunch of less than teams. Like you play somebody good. That, as I like to say, D-Mac, they all drive Mercedes.
You know, did anybody look at it that what a blessing in disguise to just finish out of the playoffs last year? Because now technically you take care of these games you're supposed to take care of. You got the popcorn.
Right.
Because why? Because the San Francisco's and the Phillies, they're in the heat of the schedule.
And they're playing each other now.
And that's what I'm saying. There's some heat. So when you hear the national pundits, not just the local pundits, saying you have a legitimate shot for a 1 or 2 seed, right? And the legitimacy, a relevancy, you control your destiny to have Jared Goff at home, right, in the dome, then you don't have to worry about anything else. It takes a lot of questions out of the play. I mean, you just got to take care of business, and that's what good teams do.
And again, it doesn't have to be pretty. I'm going full Raiders mode on this one. I don't care how it happens. Like, I know people got all bent out of shape in the Raiders game because they kicked so many field goals. I didn't care. Like, they were never a threat to lose that game. That's all I cared about.
That's reality, too, because if Justin Fields runs for 150 and we win, I don't care.
Exactly.
Right? It's got to bring up questions we're going to talk about through the week and why couldn't we get it done and this and that. But you know what? Bottom line is a W.
No, 100%. And for the Lions, too, after they play the Bears, if they win the Bears game and they win the Packers game on Thursday, they get to go home, eat Thanksgiving dinner, and then on Monday night, then on Sunday afternoon, watch the Eagles play the Buffalo Bills after having just played at Kansas City on Monday night. Do we realize this? I don't know that we do. That in the span of where we at? We're at Friday right now. In the span of 9 days, 9 days from now, the Lions could be the number 1 seed in the NFC. For like, this shit's real.
Yep.
And there's a path. And the Eagles are playing at Kansas City. They're an underdog. I know Buffalo sucks, but whatever. Humor me.
In honor of our fearless Sam Flannel, with new information, I'm allowed to change my opinion. And in 9 days, the opinion might change, but everything's right in front of you. Just like what Jelly Roll says, Spenny, windshield's a lot bigger than the rear view for a reason.
Yeah.
No, but it is, though. Like, that kind of set in with me yesterday when I was taking a look at the schedules when I was getting the picks ready for the Feldman Chevrolet Pigskin Pick'em Cup, where I am a runaway freight train in that. But I was sitting there thinking about it, like, and then it made me look ahead. And Nick Hedigan, we forget how many times we said KC didn't look like KC last year, and they still won the Super Bowl. Yeah, with a bunch of rookies in the defensive backfield. Like, it doesn't. All you can do is get yourself there. Put yourself in the position. Like, I always laughed at the people that talked ish about Dave Dombrowski. They didn't win the World Series. All he can do is get the team there.
Yeah.
Then the team's got to go win.
Yep.
Like with you guys. Ken Holland. He put the team together. You guys had to go do that. He put you guys all on the spot. Well, the financial system put you guys all on the spot. Then you guys went and executed. Bottom line.
It doesn't matter. Like,
it doesn't matter.
That's the whole thing. When people ask me about the cups and stuff, like the 2002, when you have the Hall of Fame guys and you're supposed to do it and you've been together, like, there's one thing to accomplish.
Was that one the
not
most...
many people, you're supposed to do it and you put together can accomplish something, right, to get done what is task at hand. That out of all of them is a low-key flex of all flexes because you did it.
Yeah. Was that one more... Was that one the most relief one?
That was more slap people in the face. That was more like shove it up everybody out. Like, like in a different way. They're all sort of to prove it. Right? But that one was just like... And because we didn't do it easy. And that goes to prove it no matter how great. And I think there's like 11 Hall of Famers on that team. In the 02 Cup team or whatever.
Jesus Christ.
But the fact is that look at how we did it. The hard way. Lose the first 2 at home to Vancouver, have to come back. Had to, grind it out all throughout. Lost the first game at home in the finals. You know, it's just the way perseverance. So at the end of the day, they don't ask how, they ask how many.
How about this point from Hoof Hearted? And this hit me like a ton of bricks, too. Just like that, when I thought about how in 9 days the Detroit Lions could be the 1 seed in the NFC post-Thanksgiving, that hit me like a ton of bricks. So does this one. I'm so glad to be watching the top of the standings this year instead of the bottom. I haven't looked at any mock drafts. I haven't thought about draft positioning once. And if anything, I've thought about it the other way. You know what? I take that back. I did look at mock drafts, but I didn't look at them to see who was being picked.
Yeah.
I looked at them to see where they had the Lions picking. And a lot of them, they have them
20.
30.
30, yeah.
Like ESPN had them picking 30. NFC Championship
And that's
game.
the reverse flex. Like looking at the top of the schedule, right? We want to see lower, right? And again, more and more, Neil, what are they going to be saying in 9 days if we take care of the task at hand?
I know, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
But again, if we're going to be like this, then we need to be like that. And understand, do you think that the Kansas City Chiefs, their fans or their organization, give a shit if they win ugly?
No.
They don't lose it. Do you think that they're filling up the Woodward Sports version of Kansas City or whatever, saying, "Oh, we should fire the defensive coordinator"?
No.
Not for a second.
Kansas City's laughing right now.
They're
They
bored.
haven't offensively got it going their way, and it's their defense that's carrying them. And they're 7-2, and Patrick Mahomes is just, listening to his interview, like he's laughing, right? That's what you're building towards, leaning on everybody at different times and being able to win it different ways. Look at how we won the games in the last couple weeks, ground and pound, and then hold it to the end. Right? We've had a couple get it to the 2 minute, run the clock at the first down and then, victory formation. We've done it all different ways, and we've learned from our mistakes. So I'm sure that we're going to tighten it up. I'm most interested. That's it. Is what is Justin Fields, his legs? I'm not worried about his arm. I just want to see, do we have an answer for his legs?